Hello and welcome to the weekly DADCast. James, our host, is not here. He's fulfilling his Oedipus complex. So instead, we have Solange replacing him, who's actually seen the show. So we're going to be doing today. So I didn't lead in saying what we were doing, but today is our anime awards. We're going to go down different categories and naming our picks of who wins what. Before we do that, we're going to give a quick shout out to shows that we watched this year that did not come out this year. So Skylar is the one who actually made me put that in here. So go ahead, Skylar, you can start with that.
Well, the most obvious one that I did this year that came out a while ago was Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, which I've been watching with Claude. And while we're not done with it yet, we have the last 10 episodes left. Now that we have finished Chimera Ant, I can very easily say that it is probably the best shonen series I've ever seen, and it's fantastic, and I love it, and it's amazing. Literally the reason why we're doing this is because I made a joke about how I just wanted. I don't think there were that many great villains in shows this year, so I just wanted to nominate Meruem just because he's great. And I was like, it was right as we were doing nominations, and we got to the end of that arc. Yeah, that show's great. Other than that, though, I guess I that was the main thing I wanted to talk about. I thought I've seen some other shit this year. I guess the first season of Sangatsu no Line came out in 2017, so that counts. That show's really good.
What do you give that one?
What do I give that one? Okay, so I guess I can talk about that now. So the first season of Sangatsu no Line is pretty good. I like it a lot. But I feel like the second season is, well, I don't think it's fair to separate them into seasons because I think they aired a couple of months apart, so it's it barely counts as a separate season. But season 2 I think is where the plot kicks in, or the arcs get a bit more interesting, and they utilize some of the side characters a bit better. So overall the show is fantastic. I literally just updated my favorites list on AniList, and I put it on there because it's so good. But other than that, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm forgetting some shit that I've seen this year that's old. But I can't remember right now. So, I guess I watched Princess too. Everything I've seen this year that I thought that's old, I've probably talked about on the podcast already, at some point. So, possibly. Those are the things I'll shout out. Were those two shows.
All right, Solange.
Let's see. This year, I rewatched Revolutionary Girl Utena for the third time, because that is my favorite surreal, big-brained anime.
Yeah, my Blu-ray for that came in a couple of weeks ago. It's on my shelf.
Yeah, you posted pictures of the art book and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been meaning to because the art book it's half art book with storyboards and stuff in it, but the rest of it is translated commentary tracks for episodes. I've been meaning to read those because the ones I've read are really interesting. And yeah, so I'm actually incredibly impressed with that whole package. There's commentaries on episodes that are translated, so you can watch the episode with translated commentary. There's old ads. It even comes with the movie, which I wasn't expecting. So it's very nice.
That's really cool.
Good job, Nozomi Entertainment.
Claude, have you watched any old anime this year?
I have, and the problem is I actually don't remember a lot of it. I was like, damn, I watched a lot of shit this year, but what did I watch that wasn't this year? The only thing that comes to mind, which I've just been getting really busy the last few weeks, so I haven't finished it like I want to, but Penguin Drum, Himari is the best girl in anything I've ever seen. That show works and can only work if she's the most precious thing in existence.
Yeah. She does not deserve her suffering.
Yeah.
She super does not. Outside of that, I can't think of anything really big that I was I just checked out this year. I know there's been some stuff, but nothing's coming to mind right now. So yeah, I guess if it's for that, or if that's it, we can start on our actual categories for shows that came out this year. The first category we have is Best Hero / Protagonist. And our characters for that are Deku from My Hero Academia, All Might from My Hero Academia, and Yang. What the fuck's his name, Skylar? You recommended this guy. I didn't watch Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Yang Wenli, from Legend of Galactic Heroes, which technically is allowed in because the remake of that aired this year. Yeah. He's the general that is like the main dude from the Republic in that show.
All right, now Solange, have you seen Legend of Galactic Heroes?
I have not seen Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but I have watched My Hero Academia.
Okay, so Skylar, you want to give us a little rundown on him and something that would sway our votes, if anything?
So basically the deal with Yang that I feel like is so the whole deal with Legend of the Galactic Heroes is that it's like this conflict that you follow from both sides. So there's like the Empire, which the main good dude you follow is Reinhard, who I guess is like the real main character of the series. But then the counterpart to him is Yang, who's in the Republic, and basically the Republic's deal is, well, the both deal sides is that they're both like corrupt in different ways. And Yang is just this disillusioned general who's like a war hero thing, and his gimmick basically is that he just doesn't like give a shit. He's always like I do it because it's my job, but like everyone sucks and I hate it. And he has all these amazing monologues over the course of the series that are just like, just him being like just done with everyone's bullshit. There's actually an incredible picture. I think if I could post it, of him being like where he's like talking about how the only friend that he has left is alcohol. I guess it's hard because you can't watch the clip during this podcast, but I think the moment that most like defines him is that he has this big speech at one point when he was literally called on for a thing, like something to build up the government or whatever, because he like won a battle. So it's like, yo, you say something to like rally the civilians or whatever, and then instead he goes on this big long spiel about like war and its effects on society, and everyone's like, what the fuck, why did you do that? Yeah, he's just cool. He's a cool character. I like him.
Okay. So I guess now that you've given that spiel, and I don't know, we'll just go straight to votes. Solange, who are you leaning towards?
Deku from My Hero Academia.
Okay. So for myself, I'm leaning towards All Might. And Skylar?
So I think I'm gonna go towards All Might. I remember last year I think we had like almost the same lineup of
Yeah.
POV. Well, yeah, Yang wasn't on there because the show didn't come out. But I think last year, wasn't it, that we said that we couldn't give it to All Might because he didn't do anything in season 2? But we all at that point knew what was going to happen in season 3, so we're like, we just wanted to give it to All Might. So I'm in the same boat.
Actually,
yeah, I have a vote for All Might.
Just to make it more than just a quick like, oh hey, here's who. Well, one, we'll probably from now on we'll actually give our reasons for why X person is our vote. But I guess with 2 people voting for All Might, you want to then say some words for Deku, Solange?
Deku's a good boy. He works really hard. He's just extremely passionate about being a hero, and now that All Might's retired, Deku's just got some really big shoes to fill.
Boy, does he. No one knows it yet, though.
Yeah,
now those shoes need to be filled by Endeavor and whole shit.
But Bakugo knows, I think.
I meant like as in the world. Yeah, Bakugo knows, but it's like the world isn't like, we're ready for you, Deku. The world's like
tiny child.
Yeah, the world's like, oh shit, Endeavor's the number one. Endeavor's just fucking furious about it.
Yeah, he's furious and also occasionally sad.
Well, because he wanted to earn it. He didn't want to be the number 1 hero just because the real number 1 hero had to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like similar-ish mentality to Bakugo beating Todoroki, where he's like, no, this isn't how I'm supposed to win. but it's one of those things. But yeah, like nothing bad about Deku. It's just in the grand scheme of things, for like that season at least, Deku was doing stuff, but the biggest hero moment involved All Might. Or actually a couple of them in that season. Like,
yeah, there was a couple.
I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I remember reading the manga, like when it got to that part, and I was like, they showed the biggest villain in the series before chapter 100, and he lost in the first fight he was in. Granted, it was a big deal, but it was like, normally shows I wouldn't imagine to just do their main villain like that. Like, of course he's in the cut, but I don't know. I was actually kind of shocked that they had their All Might One for All showdown that soon.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that.
Yeah, for me, it's just like they had the fight so soon because the idea of the fight is that the old heroes, like the old hero and the old villains, have to retire, and so now like the old generation of heroes and villains are retiring. So now the new generation of heroes are taking their place.
Yeah,
it's about the succession. About the succession of the old great ones.
Yeah, the younger generation is moving in to take over everything, I guess.
The future is now, old man. Like, yeah, no, like I get that. I'm just saying what my thought was when I was initially reading it. I was like, oh shit, because like I'm super big in shonen. I never really see that. It's like, what if Goku touched down on Namek and fought Frieza instantly? Like, that shit don't happen. You normally run into some shit before you run into the big bad. But all right, so
I also really quick because we've both seen it, Claude. I'm not sure if Solange has either, but I just want to talk about how, like, obviously the thing where the moment that we all think of when we think All Might, why he deserves just to win this year is the United States of Smash, right? But just imagine somebody seeing that for the first time in My Hero One's Justice, and what that would be like for that person. Have you seen that clip of it in that game, Solange?
I have not. No.
Oh, you want to show it to her?
It's the worst thing that's ever been. I'll see if I can find it, Claude.
Oh, I'll look too. So, like, all right. So, anyone listening to this, sorry for the quick derail, but this is important. If you watch My Hero Academia and you know how hyped the United States of Smash is, look up My Hero One's Justice, like United States of Smash. I'll see what the actual title is. Wow, it's actually, if you type in My Hero One's, oh, never mind. Oh, this is a fucking terrible video. Oh god, this is awful. Yeah, My Hero One's Justice ending cutscene.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, it's so bad. I couldn't believe how bad it was when I saw it.
Oof. All right, Solange, I'm posting it in DADCast. Just go to 1 minute 10 seconds. So while Solange is catching up on that shit before we go to the next category, is there anything you want to just talk about real quick, Skylar? Okay, cool. Then I'll do it.
Oh wait, I forgot I was on Push to Talk. I was talking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Go for it.
No, I just said that I didn't have anything in where you should think of something.
Oof.
Oh shit. Oh, you're seeing it? You went to 110, Solange?
Yeah.
It's pretty goddamn awful when you get to the United States of Smash.
Jesus.
It's like they didn't try.
That sucked.
Yeah, it's awful. Now, like Skylar said, imagine you didn't watch the show and you're playing through the game and you get here and you hear people talking about how hyped the United States of Smash is. He falls gently on his back. Like, what the fuck?
It doesn't even look like the fist connects with his face.
It looks like he pushed him.
Like it's just like it's just because like they can't do they didn't like convey motion that well, so it's like the models are kind of standing still. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's
and there's no explosion at the end either, so she just kind of lightly falls to the ground.
Yeah, and he's like, he got tired.
And then nothing happens.
Oof. All right. Well, I'm actually looking at how some of these categories are stacked with fucking nominees, and others have no one there. Like the next one, best villain.
Yeah.
Actually, were there even any villains really for big shows last year?
I'm just literally I try to think of one, and that was why one of them was a show that came out that not this year. I wanted to add another one, and then one of the ones I nominated was literally a joke because I couldn't think of anything else.
Oof. Well,
Not a very big show, but I liked the Cancer Cell character in Cells at Work.
Oh yeah, they were cool. That was cool.
I didn't finish Cells at Work, so I mean,
I know of that character from the manga because I actually didn't watch the show for that either, but I did read the manga. So yeah, I mean, Cancer Cell is cool.
Okay, I'll look into that at some point. But do you want to throw that on the list or no?
Why not?
Okay, so we'll have Cancer Cell from Cells at Work. We have All for One from My Hero Academia, and we have Akane from Gridman.
Oh, you didn't include my one from Liz and the Bluebird. How dare you?
Crippling depression. I thought you were joking. You wanted it on?
Crippling social anxiety. No, it was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess. I mean, this is one of the ones that's fucked. There's not that many good answers, so I guess I'm like Akane is fantastic, but by the end of that show, I feel almost uncomfortable calling her a villain.
Yeah, she's not redeemed, but she's like better. She's not like a shit.
Well, it's like big spoilers for Gridman. It's like I don't even know because it's like what she did was like evil in the sense that it was like the people being like Todd from Detroit being mean to Alice is evil, where they're not like real people. They're computer programs, and so it's just like it's like vaguely evil.
What does that sound in your background?
I don't know because I'm just in my room and there's nothing happening except the fan is on. So I have no idea.
Like for a second it would sound like something was scraping, but it's not like terrible. But whatever. We'll continue on.
I don't even know how that would happen, to be honest. My computer's on my desk. I'm in bed. I don't know.
Alright, well we'll just continue on. Sorry for interrupting your point.
Oh no, I forgot what I was even saying. I guess, but the thing is, I guess I'll give it to Akane for this because I think she's an amazing character and she's fantastic. But it's also like her villainness is nebulous to me, since the show is almost largely like a redemption story for her. And like the whole ending thing, was being like. The SSS stands for, what is it like system to save a soul or whatever.
Oh fuck, what? In my mind I locked it in as super
well, that was the reference, right? Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, like that was the reference. And then the characters from like the Neo Genesis Junior High students are like references to the characters from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. But then I think it was in the last episode when they go to with the computer and they enter the access code. And the access code was, I forget what it actually was, but like there's like when they activate it, there's a little symbol on like a little on the bottom. It says like the SSSS, and it says like something system to save a soul.
That's pretty good. I like that a lot now.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Sorry, you're saying.
No, I was gonna say you could go on.
So mine is gonna be all for one because I love Akane. I've been shouting how much I love Akane from the beginning. I love fucking evil god waifu is basically what she is for a while, which not necessarily evil after a certain point, more so like super depressed and shit. But the reason I'm giving it to all for one is because as far as a villain role goes, there is no redeeming him. He stays what he is, which is a horrendous villain. And then because it does count, we're also factoring in his like small role in the movie of like literally is like, oh wait, this one dude who's All Might's friend wants to do some fucked shit. I am 100% on board with helping him. Like he is just a monster in every way, shape, and form. And I can't think of a villain who came out in an anime last year that like tops, the villains or that symbolizes being a villain more than him.
he's pretty evil, and it's just like it feels like his entire being is dedicated to being evil, and it's one of those things where it's like his like he has so much charisma as a villain also, so it's hard to not like be like at least get hype in some way when he's around, because he's like, I don't know, he's like because I guess what it is he's just the evil version of All Might. When I think
Yeah, he says that when he's in prison with them. He's like when he's like, why are you doing this? He's like, you already know the answer. The same way you wanted to be a hero for justice, I wanted to be an evil devil king. It's like as simple as that.
And so he just stands for his ideals in just the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah, which I can appreciate a lot as a character. No super deep, I was beaten as a child backstory. It's like, no, I thought evil shit was cool, so I wanted to do it.
I think that's funny. We've mentioned before about how My Hero is like so influenced by Naruto. Is there a single character that's not Todoroki that's backstory is that they had a sad childhood, and that's why they're like this?
In Naruto?
No, in My Hero. Because in Naruto, it's everybody. In Naruto,
okay, that's what I thought you were saying. I was like,
that
what?
backstory. But in My Hero, I think it's like it's only Todoroki, isn't it? He's the only one that has the sad childhood for justification of why they are the way they are.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's people who have ways for why they are, but his is the most extreme. Like we can get into
like I guess Gentle Criminal counts also.
Yeah. Well, he'll come out sooner, or not sooner, later. He'll be in like season 5, but I mean, so he counts. Then if you want to get like more small scale, I can't remember his name, the wind user dude who was like, oh, Todoroki pissed me off, I hate him and his father so much.
Yeah, but that's different. That's like he was mad.
That's what I'm saying, it's minor. Like that's very small. No one had anything traumatic like Todoroki's.
Yeah, because like no one else besides Todoroki was sitting on the swing by himself during recess or whatever.
Well, you do have Shimura. What's his name? Shimura?
Which one? Shimura? Who?
The hand dude, leader of the League of Villains.
What's his name? Something Tagaraki or whatever. Shigaraki Tomura.
Shigaraki.
There it is.
Shigaraki Tomura.
Yeah.
It's like he is worse because you see him fucking abandoned too, and like I don't know what happened to him, but it was rough. Yeah,
that is true. But we also didn't get that much of that. It was just like a shot of like all for one finding him.
Yeah. So, Solange,
I'm here.
Well, I mean, your vote.
I'll vote for All for One. You guys have convinced me.
Okay, sweet. Do you want to say anything? Well, I guess you did talk about Cancer Cell a bit.
Yeah, like Cancer Cell. His thing is just like he's just got that tragic backstory that he escaped from immune cells that were trying to kill him, and when he was a kid and all that.
I don't know.
There's
if that
really much
works,
else to say.
No matter what you give his backstory, he's literally cancer.
Yeah.
Well, I like the tragic backstory because it's kind of how cancer works also. So at least it's somewhat creative. And that was something I can give to Cells at Work, is that the way they work in the diseases is usually at least somewhat related to the way the disease actually works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Okay. So with us moving forward into our best boy category, we have Bakugo from My Hero Academia, Nita from Hinamatsuri, and Necroducer from Zombieland Saga. I know they actually gave his name at some point. I don't remember what it was.
Necroducer for me. That's my vote.
Yeah. I feel bad for forgetting to nominate Ray for this category, but it's too late now. So I'm gonna go with Nita because he is the best. I want to know who nominated Bakugo.
I nominated Bakugo, and I'll go into that in a second.
Okay, yeah, please, because I need you to explain this to me.
Okay. The big thing is just his shift in... Alright, so I hated Bakugo when I was initially reading the series, because I thought he was just like a bully character, and I was like, wow, you're just a piece of shit, I hate you. I was only on board with the whole, unlike Naruto, where Sasuke's like kind of a emo kid who's by himself and no one talks to him, but everyone loves him. Like, it's like Bakugo's loud and obnoxious, and they're like, kid, fucking stop it. And the thing that made me put him on here is the moment I shifted with him is the fight he had with Deku, where you really see that he's not just a little shit. There was a lot of emotion pent up in him, and he doesn't know what to deal with. do with it, and he does change like that. It's not like a drastic, oh, I'm a good guy all the time, even though you're seeing a bit more of it now in the manga. It's like, all right, you know, I got what was out. I understand. I need to improve myself as well. Then the small scene that really showed it off, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I like Bakugo now, was when they were vacuuming because they were both in trouble, and he was like, so what do you think of my shoot style? It's a couple seconds of silence. Deku's like, well, Jesus, fuck, man, this is awkward. And then for the first time, like in the series, Bakugo talks to him like a normal human. And like he's not awful after that too. Like he still is extra at times, but he's clearly getting better, and I that's what makes me put him there.
Yeah, that is true. He actually has been a lot better after that moment.
Yeah. So it's like, is he the greatest character like the whole time? No. But like that shift in his personality there makes him a significantly better character, and that's why I put him there.
I feel like that's like a most improved award though, and not like what a great lad. Oh, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like, give him a gold star.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that. So with that being said, I'll shift my vote over to Necroducer because
that's fair.
He's super entertaining, and he's a shit. But when he needs to be, he can be like a really good guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nita, I couldn't give it to because I like Nita. But when you have it, you're sending little girl away, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gone. And then she finds out she's staying, and she comes back to surprise you all happy, and you're throwing a party for yourself that she's gone. I can't give that to you.
It's great. He's just learning how to be a single father in the worst way possible.
But he was celebrating that he no longer had to be a single father.
Yeah,
and he actually had to be threatened into doing it.
Yeah, like threatened to. All of his friends had to ostracize him. But it's fine. He also
before that, she was breaking his stuff, and she was about to break his arm if he didn't buy her clothes.
It's true. Well, Hina is also a shit.
Just like the actual single father experience.
It's true.
Hina's the worst girl of that show.
She tries hard though. Later, she gets better.
She does. Like the point when she's like, "Hey, you had to." What was it? Her sad backstory revolving around what? Like when he went to visit his family, and she's like, "Oh, she got so traumatized by like spicy soybeans or some
I
shit."
can't remember. Yeah, it was like spicy shrimp or something. She can't eat it.
She didn't know, and she was like, with the spice, and then he was like, "Wow, she's really trying for me." I appreciate that.
That was good.
Which that does not stop her from not being a shit.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that even towards the end of the series, he just wants to trade in Hina for Anzu.
He's so mad. There's a point where I screen capped. It was like, why is it they get Anzu where I'm stuck with Hina? This isn't fair.
Yeah, it's really good.
She's like actually best daughter of like anything. I mean, she's gonna be coming up in a second though.
Yeah, Anzu's great. That's fine though. I'm fine with Necroducer winning this because he's whatever that guy's name is, Mamoru something, whatever, Okabe's voice actor, Mamoru Miyano. He's fucking just hamming it constantly, and it's great. He's a ton of fun, that character.
I want to know how the dub would handle. Wait, there is a dub, right?
There is a dub. I think I've heard it, and I think he's fine. The dub actually, from what I've seen, is above average, but it's sort of like I like just for him, I don't want to replace sub Necroducer or something.
Nah, he's one of those few who is like, no, I don't. No. You gotta have someone really high tier. Like, I don't know his name off the top, but I love All Might's voice actor. But like at the same time, like Chris Sabat is godlike to me. So I was like, I can watch this show in English and not be mad.
Yeah,
right,
I guess.
So with Necroducer winning that, we're moving on to the next one, which is our best girl. We have Hanako from Asobi Asobase. We have Takagi from, I don't remember the full name of the show. Was it Master of Teasing Takagi-san?
Yeah, Master of Teasing Takagi-san, yeah.
We have Rika from Gridman. We have Hina from Three Gods no Lion, or March Comes In Like a Lion. And then we have Anzu from Hinamatsuri. Solange, you want to start us off?
My vote goes for Hanako. I love Hanako so much. She gets me.
Her banshee like screeching, I'm sure.
That's actually the best. Gives you a girl who can scream like a banshee.
And I love her reaction faces.
She has some pretty great ones. I love also all the scenes involving her and her like the servant guy.
Yes.
All that shit is great. That dude is like the dumbest
World's
shit.
strongest monster.
Yeah. I mean, Hanako's great. They're all like it reminds me of like Konosuba or what's it called? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where everyone is a horrible person, but that's the point, and so it's great. So she's fun. What were you saying to me, Claude?
I was just thinking, like, this is one of those lists that's like awful for me because I have like a couple of picks, all for different reasons, and I all think they really excel at theirs. Like, if I had to like single out two, because my top three in this would be Hanako, Takagi, and Anzu. But if I had to cut one, I'd cut Takagi. And there's still Anzu, who's like actually best girl. Like, she's the most precious thing, and she has a character arc to it. She doesn't just come in and is I'm the sweetest thing. It's like, no, she's a little shit at first, and then she learns to appreciate the life of the homeless and be like, you know what, this sucks at first, but it's humbling, and she's just so sweet. And then she has her like 2 episodes for that, where it's like, okay, I have to leave the homeless people. I'm so sad. I hate this. And then she really understands the value of like family and all that. And it's the part with her crying. I've never had my heart filled like with so much warmth from a single screenshot.
The best part of that is the shot after that of the 2 like people that adopted her going for the
crying.
tissues. It's like that's me.
It's so I mean, there's her and then there's Hanako for the reasons that like Solange said. So it's like, this is very difficult for me. I don't even know who I want to pick yet, but I'll let you go.
All right, so I know very much who I want to pick, and it is Hina Kawamoto from Sangatsu no Lion, who is the best character. She's the best. It's like this thing where she's like likable in a very similar way to Anzu, where she's like this like very pure, like kind of like person who's like wholesome or whatever, and she has a similar, well, not similar artwork, because when you meet her, she's like the way she is most of the time, but the deal with her character is that like it's like so you meet her and you get this impression of her based on like the earlier scenes, but I think what's so strong about her character is the way the show like strengthens that first impression and through like her entire arc in season 2, because the whole deal in season 2 is about like her arc is like there's this girl in her class that was getting like bullied like horribly and like so bad that she left the school and needed to get therapy, right? It was really bad. And Hina, with her deal was that she was like the only person in her class who like tried to tell people about it, who was like, what the fuck, why is no one doing anything? And then because of that, she like got targeted after that point. And so her whole arc is basically like this whole thing of like her school life is being fucked up, but she's just incredibly pissed because she knows that she didn't do anything wrong, and yet she's still being punished like throughout her like for like an entire year of her life. She's just completely alone. And there's this way that it's depicted is like that she has this like it's very admirable, I guess, and it's handled really well, and it's like realistic in the sense where she's not like perfectly able to go through it by herself. And the way that they work into the main character Rei into her arc as well is it's handled very well, and I think that she's the best, and I love her, and that's my vote.
Huh. Okay, so I mean, I actually don't have I didn't expect a 3-way vote on something. Anyway, anyone has to try and alleviate that so we can pick one clear winner.
I don't want to change my vote because I feel very strongly about it.
Mm-hmm. Solange.
I will change my vote to Anzu just because I've actually watched Hina Matsuri. I haven't watched Sangatsu no Lion, so
Yeah, and that's I feel like that's what's gonna happen. So I'm the only person that watched it.
All
So
right, well,
it's just gonna be me. I'm gonna vote for it in whatever category that it's nominated for, but it will
Well, I
never
mean,
win.
you can if you make a strong enough argument. Like I had strong emotions for Anzu. If it was just like a Takagi thing where I just like Takagi, I think she's cute, and how she has her little I like you, you like me, but you don't know how to say you like me, but I know you like me. Like that. That's very interesting in how she does all that. But like if Anzu didn't give me the hard feels, I probably would have switched my vote. So all right, winner of best girl for the year is Anzu from Hinamatsuri. For the next one, we have Best Fight. We have Deku versus Bakugo 2. We have Grid Knight's first appearance. We have Karen versus Hikari from Review Starlight. And then we have All Might versus All for One.
All Might versus All for One.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be like the winner by landslide in this. I also vote for that one as well.
I was gonna vote for Deku versus Bakugo 2.
Well, yeah, because that one has the pretty dank Yusaka Nakamura cuts in it, and so it's very pretty. Although I do feel like the All Might versus All for One fight has more like emotional weight to it, I guess.
I don't know about emotional weight, but it adds more significance to the story, definitely, because like that's where the same reasons I was talking up Bakugo before and why I put him as my best boy, like that all is encapsulated in that fight, and also it is a gorgeous fight. And if you were really looking at the two fights, there's a lot going on in Deku versus Bakugo 2, but at the core of All Might versus All for One, there's like actually only like 3 or 4 punches. So I mean, it's a big thing, but if I'm singling out like how the fight went down, Deku versus Bakugo 2 was far more impressive.
All right, that's fair. I can see that. I do want to give special shout outs to both the Grid Knight first appearance, because that fight was fucking baller. I don't know, it was probably the most impressive use of the 3D in the entire show. And just the cuts, it's just really good, and the whole reveal is handled really well, and it's really cool. But I also like specifically because no one but me finished Review Starlight.
So, I'm getting there.
So Karen and Hikari, the fight is like it was the thing where I posted it. I wanted to nominate it because it's really good, but then it's like literally the last thing that happens in the last episode. So it's like I can't even tell people to watch it out of context because it's just like the entirety of the end of the show.
Yeah, that's why I honestly didn't watch that video, because it's like this is a show I'm watching. I don't want to get to that. I'll get to that when I get to that.
And it's a really fantastic conclusion to the series. The whole like back and forth between them is fantastic, and like the last like minute and a half of that fight is just amazing. Like it's so good. The final shot of like the two of them on position 0 is great, and it's really good. So I mean, I want to give special commendations to that one, even though I'm voting for All for One and All Might, but I think that one's really good as well.
Okay. Well, the piece being said for that, 2 against 1. So the winner of best fight is All Might versus All for One. Moving forward, we have our best comedy. And the nominees for that are Asobi Asobase, Zombieland Saga, Hinamatsuri, and Chio-chan School Road.
Okay, so for this, I want to go for Hinamatsuri in general, mainly because I feel like that while it was a comedy and it was really funny, and I feel like it's one of rare few comedy anime that I see that actually understands comedic timing very well. It's like the fucking some of the jokes in that show are just timed so perfectly. It's like I can't help you. I'm like laughing and then also I'm impressed. Like, man, that was great. That delivery was fantastic. The one that always sticks out in my head is the bit where they're all in the bar where Hina is like following Nita around or whatever, and that episode, and then everyone ends up in the bar at the same time, and they just start applauding, and Hina is confused.
Mm-hmm.
That whole sequence where every single time Hina's like, "What's going on?" what is this? It's just I don't know. Her delivery is amazing. It's perfect. It fucking killed me. But then it's also wholesome as fuck, and it's like a story about like family and parenting, and I'm like a fucking massive sucker for that shit. And there's that. So Hinamatsuri made me laugh and it made me cry, and so it's amazing. It's the best comedy. I'm gonna say that.
So I'm going with Asobi Asobase because, all right. So I do something every year, or by every year I mean I started like a year and a half ago. The Fool's Journey. Wait, no, I didn't start that a year and a half ago. That was more recent. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So what I do is like on the stream platforms I have, I will just watch every show. I'll just watch everything that comes out. Because it's like I don't want to miss like a gem. I don't even really look into the shows. I just add them to my queue when they get added, depending on what streaming service it is, and I watch it. And Asobi Asobase was one of those. I knew literally nothing about it. I saw like a little thumbnail. I was like, okay. I started the OP, and Stewie and I were watching the show together. And I was like, what is this, some fucking cute girl show? And if you just watch the OP, that looks like the most cute girls show ever. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I got into the very beginning, and you get a story from God, I'm actually not remembering her name. Solange, tell me out here.
Kasumi, I believe is her name.
Kasumi, yeah, that was it. And it was just her thing about like, I don't like, stakes for like losing and whatnot, because it's not fun, because her sister made her go to the store and get ice cream. I was like, okay, whatever. And then you get the rock, paper, scissors game and the slap. I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? And it just gets more and more like insane, and the reaction faces are perfect, and it's just like, I don't think like I loved Hinamatsuri. That was my show of the season for that season. No show this year has made me laugh harder than Asobi Asobase. And if anyone does not believe that is like could be the funniest, because you can watch them all individual. I'd say go watch episode 4 and watch when they do like the weird like sumo hand wrestling thing. There is like there's very few times where I'll find like a joke is like it's like perfect, like you can't do more in it to make it better. And that is that, from the whole bending your spine back to Hanako responding with like she's up to her Chinese what was it she said? Solange, you don't remember when Kasumi bended her spine all the way back? Chinese contortionist shit. She's doing her Chinese contortionist shit again, which you didn't see her do this before, but it's like established like it's a thing. So she just bends her back all the way, and it's like, all right, I didn't fall. And then Kasumi sneezes, and it gets in Hanako's eyes, and she's screeching and flailing backwards and slams her head. Like, everything is structured in ways like I have not, like, this isn't actually perfect gag. Nothing could have been added in here to make it better. And there's a couple of those in Asobi. So there's shit that's like, why is it like this? Like when she just found a random beetle, and she's like, here, I'm going to use this beetle to break into this office. And you see her little training montage with the beetle, but it still looks like a beetle. And when she's like, all right, now we're going to go there. Go pick the lock. And the beetle's flying, but it has muscular-ass human arms and legs. And it's like, wait, what? And like there's so much that's in there that's like, doesn't need to be. They throw in a little bit just to make it funnier. And as much as I love Hinamatsuri, I cannot think of a show in general that has made me laugh as hard. Well, I can't say in general. I need to actually think about it. But like, Asobi Asobase is like top 5 comedy I have ever seen.
It's pretty good. It reminds me of like Nishijo, but less pure.
Yeah. I think after I finished the first episode, I saw someone online calling it just mean-spirited Nichijo.
Yeah, I buy into that.
Right, so that's my vote. And Solange?
You know my vote very well. It's gonna be Asobi Asobase. When you like told me to watch it blind and I saw the OP, of course, same thing, the cute girls doing cute shit. I'm not about that. I'm not about moe blob shit. I almost dropped Asobi, but I was like, no, I gotta trust Claude. That first episode, like, it's hard for me to like I'll find stuff funny in shows, but it won't be funny enough to make me laugh. Asobi had me crying in the first episode. The part where they got like the kiddie pool in the classroom and like the water's like leaking out, and like the teacher's like, what is this? And what was it? I think Hanako's like, oh yeah, no, Olivia peed, and the teacher's like, I gotta taste it just to make sure.
Detective Conan shows up.
Only one truth prevails. He goes and just tastes the mystery water. That shit was funny. And of course, Skylar's performance in the show was outstanding.
Oh, it's true.
The way he delivered his raw middle schoolers line, it was a good performance, Skylar. I really do think you deserve an award for that.
I know. I thought I was the guy from Chio-chan who was the hobo who lives in the forest, who just wanted to see hot high school girl butts.
Yeah.
Now they're too old for you. We know you're all about them raw middle schoolers.
All right. Okay. I was just gonna say that there's a line in the first episode that I think that got me really good was just a bit where I think it was Olivia was talking to someone and she just thinks to herself, this kid is whack. And I was like, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that's a great fucking line. No, I'll get into the OP stuff at the end, but I do like that last bit after like the whole like, you know what, like, you know, the teacher just saying like, you lied to me, don't do that again, live honest lives, and you know, he left, and like I think it was like Kazumi or Olivia was like, yeah, that guy is he doesn't seem like such a bad guy, and then Hako's like, what are you talking about? What you did was disgusting. Like oh man, I love that show. So yeah, then with 2 votes, best comedy of the year is Asobi Asobase. And I'm fucking furious that no company has picked it up. I don't even care about dub. I just don't believe I'll be able to own a physical version because it's not been licensed. Whatever. So on to the next. I'll keep hoping, but I've seen a lot of shows where it's like, all right, who owns you? Nobody? Will I ever see you?
Claude, speaking of Asobi, have you seen there are 2 OVAs that came out for it?
I did not know this.
Go watch them.
I will watch them.
They're not on Crunchyroll, unfortunately, the OVAs, so you're just gonna have to figure out how you're gonna watch them.
Oh, I'll find some reasonable means to do that.
That's like finding the Konosuba OVAs also, which I still haven't seen. I still haven't seen the second one. I keep forgetting that exists.
I've seen the one where it's like Cosmo was supposed to die.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
One?
Yeah, there's one after that. That was the season 1 OVA. There's a season 2 one that I have not seen. And the only GIF I've seen of it is just a GIF of Megumi where she's like hanging out with the cat, and that happens in it. But I don't know nothing about the episode overall.
Oh yeah, Konosuba is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Like, oh, a show that I loved that has not been licensed by anyone. It has not been released. Konosuba. When did Konosuba come out? 2016.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's 2019 now, and still no one has licensed it and released it in the West.
That is weird.
I pray
also because the LN is licensed here, that's weird. The light novel's licensed, but the show isn't.
It's fucking infuriating. Okay, well, moving on to our next category, which I don't even know how this one's gonna turn out, but we have best drama. We have A Place Further Than the Universe, Hisone Masotan, Three Gods to No Lion, and Skylar. What the fuck is that third one or the last one?
Season 3. English title is Encouragement of Climb, because of course it is.
I keep forgetting that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, it's the show about the girls that climb mountains.
Okay, so
it's good.
I already know where you stand, but I'm curious as to where Solange
I wonder what show I'm
stands.
gonna vote for.
I'm voting for Hisotan because that's the only of those shows that have been listed. Hisotan's the only one that I watched, and I loved it.
Hisomaso is pretty good. It's still the best Mario Kata show. She's like the writer. She did like Kisnever and Anohana and Iron-Blooded Orphans. Right? That's her. She wrote it. I think it's her best work, and I think has a really good mixture of like comedy and like drama, and the characters are all like have these really fun, like endearing personalities. Yeah, I mean that show's pretty good. I like it. Well, what about you, Claude? I guess you're probably gonna vote for A Place Further Than the Universe, right? I guess. Claude? Hello? Did you die?
I think so.
Oh, Claude is dead. He got sad that I yoinked his vote from him. I guess. Well, okay, well, he's gone. I guess I'll say that. Obviously, I'm gonna vote for Sangatsu no Lion here. It's. I mean, it's. I've talked a lot about it already so far. I guess it's one of those things where when you're watching a drama, it's important. Like it's like the source of the drama is important to me, and it needs to feel like it's it makes sense and is like earned as far as being like melodrama. One of the things that really impressed me about the way the drama was written in Sangatsu was that it felt like it was. It felt. I don't know what the word to use is. But I guess it just felt atypical. Like the situations that the characters were in didn't feel at all like anime situations to me. Like there's an example is there's like aside the main character, his like circumstance basically is that he was orphaned at a young age. His entire family except for himself was killed in a car accident, and he was adopted by his father's friend, who he would play shogi with at sometimes when he was like a child. And then then the whole situation was like the dad was like obsessed with shogi, and the kids all like became aware at some point, like he had 2 children himself. They all became aware at some point that they were that their value as a child, as like his his kids, was like weighed in how good they were at shogi. And so because this new kid that they adopted was so much better than they were at shogi, that they like had this weird like spiteful relationship with him that is really weird. Like with the brother, he just hates the Ray, right? But the sister has this incredibly complicated relationship with Ray, where she like respects him, but also is like blames him for what happened, like with her family kind of drifting apart, and she's a mess. And then she's also tied up with this other pro shogi player who's married, and she's dating him while he's married, and his wife is like dying of some disease in the hospital. And it's kind of like this thing where he like it's just like I don't know. Both situations are all like these things that are like interwoven in this way that feels natural, and it's clearly like this is a thing that's like, oh, this is good because for a drama series, but then it also is completely justified by their characters at all times, and everyone has these layers to them that just make them feel more than just like they're there for someone else's arc. And it's very well written. It's handled very well. And so yeah. Obviously, I'm voting for Sangatsu no Lion.
All right. So, mine is going to a place further in the universe. As far as why, I have not seen a show that has hit me on an emotional level as hard as that one. And I feel like it's one that like not a lot of people give it. Well, not a lot. I can't say not a lot of people. There's people who I've like mentioned it to, and they were like, "Nah, it's not my cup of tea." But like, I feel like everyone can relate to a certain part of it. Which part of the show revolves around like there's always been that thing that all of us have wanted to do at some point in time in our lives, where they'd be like, "Go here, do that, do this," like experience something in our lives. But for one reason or another, we just never jumped out and experienced that. And the show, a big part of the theme for that show is that. Like that's honestly part of the reason I joined the army. Is like I wanted to do something big. I want to do something in my life. And you have, yeah. I mean, it can be veiled as like a cute girl show, even though it's not fucking really one. You have Mari was like, I want to do something big. But she didn't. She wanted to just like skip school and go to another city one day. But she couldn't even do that. She ended up back at school. She's like, I don't know what I want to do. And she runs into her friend. She runs into someone that she becomes friends with a bit later. She finds a bunch of fucking money. Like, oh shit. And then there's a girl named Shirase who's like looking for the money. And she gives it back to her. She's fucking crying. She's like, what's happening? She's like, I want to go to Antarctica. My mom went there and never came back. I want to go. and it's done a really well way because it's not like one of those things like you would assume like, oh, I want to go find my mom. Like, there's no question that her mother is dead because you cannot because her mom went there 2 years ago. I remember arguing with James, but I was like, why are you spoiling that? I was like, motherfucker, in what world, what type of person do you have to be to survive in Antarctica for 2 years with no supplies? And then he memed because he realized he was stupid, whatever. So they end up on their little journey, like, okay, we're going to go to Antarctica. I don't remember how Hinata joined in on that. Hinata was the third girl and arguably best girl at that show. And then they run into an idol, too, who, for other reasons, is going there. Everyone has their own reason, but they all get really well done plot development, mostly when they get towards there. It has some of the best episodes and some of the most emotional episodes I've seen of anything recently. The Durian episode is fucking hilarious. Because it takes the whole, like, oh, we're going on an adventure thing, someone lost their passport, like, thing that you see in almost any anime that involves adventuring somewhere, but it handles it in a pretty fun way that I liked a lot. You get fucking some great moments with cute girls that you wouldn't imagine they would do. Like one of them, like being like having one of the most like fucking furious faces talking about how she'll murder someone in their sleep. Outside of little fun stuff, it's just when they get there and you get like each of them having their own episodes. It's very, very, very well built up. A lot of foreshadowing. Like I can't think of anything the show did wrong. And then when you get to episode 12, which I don't want to spoil anything on, I have that, like, my girlfriend she started watching the show. We watched like Your Name and a couple other things together in a silent voice, not even a sniffle. She was like, yeah, no, shows can't make me cry like that. Episode 12 of the show made her cry. It almost got me. I was really fucking close. If I had to pick out a single standalone episode from any series all year, episode 12 of A Place Further in the Universe would be my best episode of the year, like bar none. And it wraps up really well. And I have no complaints with that show. I've seen plenty of people. There's a YouTuber like named Giga who watched this show, and because of the events of it, it inspired him to just finally get out and take a trip to like Thailand or something like that. Like, it is a phenomenal show. I mean, if it loses to one of the others, I won't be mad, but I will say that like anyone who's ever had that feeling of like, I want to go out somewhere and do something with my life, check out this show. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's really good, I guess. I don't know, so I guess we have a three-way tie again.
What the fuck were we gonna do here? I don't even remember. Someone switched their vote last time.
I switched my votes last time. I switched my vote back last time. I really don't have the super strong opinions on the best drama here, so it's just a matter of you and Skylar trying to convince me for your side. Because Skylar described Sangatsu no Lion, like, at least why he would vote as the best drama, very well. But you've also explained why A Place Further in the Universe is a good drama. And to be quite honest, you're talking about, how it's really relatable for like people who have always like been like, oh, like, there's something that you want to do or something you want to experience. Has me swayed more to your side than Skylar. So, Skylar, is there anything you want to say to see if you can sway me over to your side a little more?
I mean, I guess a lot of like what I like about Zangatsu has to do with, it's hard for me to talk about it in a way where like, whereas like A Place Further in the Universe is very like that's the theme of the series, right? It's very like centered around this idea of like, this like uplifting thing of going out and doing something with your life and moving on towards better things. And with Zangatsu, it's more like it's more like smaller scale. The show is more about like, it has to do with the main character and his depression, and the show is like this building of him up as a person, basically, and it's very slow in the way it does it. Like, it actually does this really amazing thing that I'm a huge fan of. The show is it's headed by Studio Shaft. There's people that do like the Monogatari series or whatever, and so there's these really great like little visual flares that I really love. So, like, for example, one of the things they used a lot of times to open episodes is this little like image of like some like a mural of flowers, like minimalist flowers, right? And the way that it's shown every time is it's like you see the flower for like a split second, and then the image like warps as if it's like was like dropped in some water and the paint is spreading or whatever. And when it starts off, that in the first episode it's like just gray, like the flowers are just gray, and so when the ink effect happens, where like it's being like watered down, it's just like turns into white because it's being watered down and it's whatever. But when you get to the end of the last episode, the effect happens, but the flowers have all like been colored in. So when the effect happens, then like all the colors commingle and create like this rainbow looking effect to show like that the character and how like over the course of the series his worldview has brightened and he has he's become better as a person. And there's just so many like little things like that, like little character moments that really make me love the show. Like the bit where I'm going to talk about it again in the next category, I think. But there's a bit where Hina is excited because she like did something, and so they're going to celebrate with a meal. And so she wants to call over Ray to come have dinner with them. But when she calls him on the phone, she hears his phone ringing outside because he's already there to come drop something off. And that moment's really sweet. Or like the dinner scene is episode 4 of season 2, I think, is one of my favorite episodes of anime of all time, because it's just like that's just the whole rundown of the thing with Hina in that season. And the episode ends with this incredible like dinner sequence where like the grandfather has this big speech about how she should be proud of herself for being the only one who was courageous enough to stand up for her friend. And it's just like this, it's almost dialogueless scene of everyone like trying to cheer themselves up, and like it's just I can't even describe it in a way that makes me feel like the show made me feel. Like there was like a 5-episode stretch in season 2 where I was just openly sobbing for the entirety of the episodes in a row. And it's just incredible, and I can't even put it into words exactly because it's just like, I don't know. I guess what I would say is that it's a show about realizing your own self-worth, and I think that's valuable because I don't personally deal with depression, but I've surrounded by people that do, and so it feels so comfy to me to have this show that I think not only depicts it what it feels like very accurately, at least from what I see people that when I talk to from people that have it, and this like what it feels like, very real and way of going about it, this like handling it in a mature way and understanding how those feelings work. Yeah, that's just my thing.
Pretty good.
Okay. Well, Solange?
I think I'm actually gonna go with Skylar this time and vote for Sangatsu no Lion for best drama.
See, that's fine. That's fair, because like I haven't seen it. I know a bit of its deal, and I'm just a massive coward where it's like I don't want to get the bad feels. No. But I mean, at some point I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch Sangatsu no Lion and finish A Place Further Than the Universe.
How far did you get in that? Because I haven't really talked to you about that show. I haven't talked to anyone about it really since.
I think I watched only the first 2 episodes. Okay. You recommended it to me, and I only watched the first 2 episodes. I was like,
Yeah, I'd say it's very strong. Like I said, it kind of really hit me on like a specific level because like I had went through that feeling and that kind of pushed me into joining the military. It's an experience I would never like. If I could go back, I would not change the thing.
Yeah, both shows are definitely very good. A Place Further Than the Universe, like episode 12, is a very good episode. That just scene with the emails is like incredibly good. Yeah, so like both shows are great. Yeah.
Did you want to say anything about the climbing show? Or did you say something when I was I got kicked out of the?
No, Yama no Susume, it's hard because this is the only category that I think I could nominate it for because we didn't have like a more broad one. The season, I guess, was more drama focused than the other one, so it fit a bit better. Really, this show, it's really just it's comfy. It's ESGK kind of deal, kind of similar to Yudu Camp.
Camp?
Yeah, it's very close to that. It's like replace camping with mountain climbing, and it's basically what Yamato Suzume is. And this season was like it was just beautiful. Like Yamato Suzume is again the other thing with it is that it is the people that made it. It's like a Sakuga type show where it has some of the best character animation I've ever seen. It's so pretty. And yeah, and the season was just good because it handled some interesting stuff with the character Hinata, and her relationship with the other girl Aoi, which is just like the two main characters of the show. And it's good, and I recommend it. It's but it's like it's just like a comfy thing, and also has short episodes, half-length episodes, as well. For the first season actually has 4-minute long episodes, and season 2 is half-length episodes. Yeah. It's just it's very simple. I just wanted to give it a nod because it is really good, but it's also like I think it's like kind of simple. It's not like crazy or anything. It's just a comfy show that I think people should be more aware of.
All right, to move forward, we have our best action series. We have Revue Starlight, Devilman Crybaby, Gridman, Megalobox, and My Hero Academia. Who wants to start this one off?
I'll start off. I'm gonna go ahead and give the nomination because I know you didn't appreciate the scenes very much, Claude, but I freaking loved Megalobox.
There was only one I didn't appreciate because like the sound design I feel like in that episode was awful.
Was it which one? Which fight was that one?
The one where he was dealing with the boxer who was like handicapped. For some reason, the hit sound effects sounded really muffled. They didn't sound like actual hits. But then the next fight he's in, they sound like real like real hits. I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? yeah. That was the only one I complained about.
Well, I feel like the footwork in that show overall was really weird. Because if you know what boxing footwork looks like, they kind of like doing tap dancing a little bit. It looks a little bit weird. But the show was good. I liked it as well.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
Did you have like a more to say about it, Solange?
When I knew how Ashita no Joe ended, and I was really afraid that Megalobox is gonna go with that end, and I was kind of relieved that they didn't.
I thought
because like with the whole like
it's
like I thought like you saw like Joe like pissing blood and stuff, and like I was like, man, he's gonna die. He's gonna die in his fight with Yuri. This is gonna suck.
I like Yuri way more than I thought I would.
What honestly. I was interested in was that because what happens in Ashita no Joe is it's like the two rivalry between the two main characters, Rikishi and Joe, right? And what actually happens is that Rikishi dies in the ring first.
Does he die? I thought he just got super aged.
No. Yeah. So Rikishi dies in the ring before Joe does, and that's the fight where Rikishi. Because what happens is that Joe is, I think, welterweight, and Rikishi is upper middleweight. I can't remember. And so Rikishi has to go down like several weight classes to. Oh, sorry, no, Joe's bantamweight. That's right. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a lot.
Yeah. So
when you said welterweight, I was like, okay.
That's Joe's bantamweight, and he's like, I think he's middleweight, one of the middleweight classes, I think, for Rikishi.
That's jumping down like 5 weight classes.
Yeah, so when he
fucking ridiculous.
And it was the whole thing was that they were gonna. It was like similar, where like they have the thing, we're gonna fight. It's gonna be a real fight because they met in prison, and they had like we're gonna fight each other in the ring once we get out. And so Rikishi had to go down weight classes to fight Joe, and so he fights him as like a skeleton in the ring. He looks like he's going to die before the fight even starts.
Why didn't Joe move up? Like they could have met in the middle or something.
I think it's because Joe is tiny. So it was just a thing.
Joe could have been Manlet Supreme.
And so that was what happened. So when the people talk about the funeral, people held for the Ashano Joe character. It was actually Rikishi's funeral. Like people in real life, people held a funeral for Rikishi when the character died.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I thought Yuri was gonna die, because Yuri was the one last episodes was going through like the whole thing to remove the thing from his body, whatever it's called, I forget.
The advanced gear or something like that.
Yeah, and so he was gonna fight like just coming out of surgery. I thought that was gonna be the thing. That was gonna be like this the equivalent. But he didn't. He didn't die, which I was kind of relieved about, because I felt like it wasn't where his arc should have gone, given what they did with the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thought the ending was interesting too, with the fucking bit of Joe like dancing on the cliff or whatever. Like it was nice. I thought the ending of that show was nice. But I gotta give this to Gridman personally.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Gridman was like, I guess when I think about Gridman, it's like the action in it was really good, and there was some really like fun things that took really good advantage of the style they were trying to emulate.
Best 3D show of the year.
Yeah, the 3D was great. I think it was Graphinica who handled the CG stuff, which is a studio that does the CG for like the Ultraman shows. So that looked really good, but then it was just like the overall like direction and writing in that show was just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so cool to me to watch it, and like I could see the things, because Amamiya, the director of the show, is like a self-proclaimed massive nerd, and he wears his influences on his shoulder like something fierce. But it was so interesting for me to see like, oh, this is something he took from this person. Specifically, he's inspired by Hideaki Anno, who did Evangelion, and then I forget his first name. Oh, but Obari, the animator who used to do all those elaborate mecha anime. Like he was like the mecha designer, key animator. He's like the low-key one of the most influential key animators in the industry. People homage his work all the time. Mm-hmm. Literally, just look up the Obari pose or the Obari punch, and you will see like hundreds of people just emulating his cuts or whatever. And so Gridman has fucking shitloads of Obari cuts all over it, which even prompted him commenting on it, being like, maybe ask me next time if it's okay. And then the stuff he took from Anno I think is interesting too, because I guess what I was going to say is the stuff he took from Anno is interesting to me, because it's like I can see that he took this kind of thing from Anno, but the way that he uses it is not at all in the way Anno would use it. I guess like the example most people point to is like those long static shots of things, whereas like in Evangelion they're always used to like heighten the emotional impact of whatever scene is happening. Like the bit where like Asuka and Rei are in the elevator.
I hate that scene so much. I thought my TV was broke.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because it's supposed to make it like it's awkward. Like you're in that scene with them and it's awkward as fuck, and so it makes you feel how awkward it is by just having you sit in the elevator with them for 30 seconds with no dialogue.
Wasn't it like 45 seconds?
It's something like that.
It's
and
ridiculous.
There's only one. And there's literally like I think 2 frames of animation. It's a frame of like Asuka like sneezes or whatever.
Like I've watched that show twice, and both times I thought my TV broke.
Yeah, and then there's the other one. Most people talk about is the bit with Kaoru, where he has him in the hand before he kills him, and it's just like the Otojoy is playing in the background. And so you're supposed to like again, you feel like the weight of the decision because Shinji has to kill him, and he's like struggling with it, right? But in Gridman, they're almost always, because the whole thing with Gridman is like directorially is showing off like this contrast between like the everyday life and everyday life being like invaded by like the tokusatsu shit that's happening. And see, there's even like lines in the OP about, you know, ordinary life being ruined by, you know, monsters or whatever. And so like there's all these shots, like long static shots. Almost all of them feel like they're just made in a way to make you as a viewer become more aware of the space the characters are occupying. Because almost all of them are like you're sitting there, and then the dialogue or the sound design becomes ramped up, where you can really hear like all of the ambient noises in the space, like the crickets chirping, and there's like an intercom that's being played in the distance, and like you can hear like the people walking by or people talking to each other or whatever. And I guess I'm a huge nerd and I love this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Gridman really did it for me in that respect, and I think Amamiya is very talented. And as like his first real show he got to direct, because he directed Inferno Cop before this. So it's his
Inferno
first big
Cop was a
boy
real show.
It was Inferno Cop was literally made. Every episode was made in an hour. They were given a maximum of an hour every week to work on Inferno Cop.
But it was a real show.
It was. That's true. I guess Ninja Slayer. He also did that. That was also like a full length thing in the style of Inferno Cop. But that was also 12-minute episodes for that. So this is his first full like 24-minute long episode thing. And I think he did a really fantastic job, and I hope he gets more work in the future, because I think Gridman is legitimately the best trigger show at the moment.
I don't know where I put it. I love Gridman. Like, I love Gridman. Like, God, I fuck this up every now and then. They're Toku series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, because I didn't really know the name for it beforehand, but like I'm a huge sucker for those. I don't know if I'd put it as my favorite. I'd have to actually sit and really think about it, but I do love it. That being said, my vote actually goes to My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
If we're talking about action, no series that came out this year had as many fights. And on top of the fights, a lot of them were like bangers. Like you had Deku versus Muscular, which some of my friends were like, holy shit, this feels like a season finale fight. And I was like, this isn't even
it happens
the biggest
like
thing.
In the first like 4 or 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's the 4th episode. You get that. You get like literally everybody fighting everybody at the camp. You get the invasion or the attack on the League of Villains. You get All Might versus All for One. You get like multiple like really interesting fights during the exams. You get Deku versus Baku. Like you have so much there, and the majority of those fights aren't just like, hey, here's a cool fight. The majority of them like mean something to the people who were there. Like Koda, like that was his emotional development there of like heroes aren't just terrible, like because his dad and mom died muscular, so like him being able to embrace heroes again. Goku, fucking Deku fucking pushing past his limits, and then also getting like, because you got hints from Eraserhead to be like, you keep pushing yourself like this, there'll be a point you can't save someone. So he did do that to save Koda, but then when it came time to save Bakugo, he came up short, and that hit him hard, and he realized the problem with that. Then you get the whole like, okay, you're gonna lose the use of your arms, like it's finally caught up to you.
Yeah, I do really like that. By the way, it's the whole thing with Deku is being like actually having consequences for him doing, because it was a thing where it was always like there was almost like a formula for My Hero before that point where it's just like it's really hard. Like Deku's just gonna hurt himself more to solve the problem, and then it was always like, I guess it's fine because Recovery Girl can just heal him, and then I should always be like, if you keep doing this, it's gonna be bad. But then actually something bad did happen, and he had to completely revamp his fighting style. I like that the consequences were like actually like real and not just like a vague threat of certain consequences happening at all times, right?
Yeah, and it's visual too, because like even now in the manga, still anytime you see his arms, they look fucked up. Like all those scars and everything he did, it stays with him, which I really appreciate. Because it'd be one thing for the artist or for the writer, Hirokoshi, to be like, his arms fucked up, you can't use them. But for the reminder of like literally anytime you see his arms in every single panel, like it's like, yeah, no, he's jacked. Do not forget.
Yeah, all the scars on his arms are like, that's another thing I like. Yeah, it's a good detail as well.
Like I could pick apart more things if I wanted to, but honestly, that all it would do was just kill time. Like I love, I like Megalobox a lot. There was the one fight I complained about because honestly, if you look at that fight versus the other fights, the sound on it was kind of awful in my opinion. I love Tokusatsu, I love fucking Gridman, but like if I'm strictly viewing something as an action show, there is nothing, in my opinion, that beats My Hero Academia this year, and that's where my vote's going.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it was a really strong stretch of My Hero. Like this season animated what is arguably the best like portion of the manga so far. And
I thought you thought the
well, I said arguably. My favorite is still the next arc, Yakuza arc. But I feel like it's close to this, and I feel like you definitely could make an argument for everything from going from the training camp arc to All Might vs. All for One as being like the strongest overall chunk of the manga so far.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, so we have a 3-way tie.
Again, I guess I could. Okay, I'd feel weird changing my vote to My Hero because I didn't. I'll be real in that I didn't actually watch that much of the anime version of this. I just read the manga. I saw All My vs. All for One episode because I wanted to see the anime version of that, and then I seen a couple other random episodes. Like I saw.
Did you see Bakugo versus Deku?
Yeah, I did see that. Yes, I saw that one, and I saw. I want to say I just saw the episode where they were going through the dorms, so I want to see that one too. Was that season 3 or season 2?
That was 3.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, okay,
Because they didn't get the dorms till after the attack on the camp.
That was after the attack, is that the whole that thing where Froppy was sad that she whatever. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. So I saw that one also. I think that was it. But again, I really like this portion of the manga. So I mean, I could go for that, I guess.
Okay.
But Gridman's good.
Gridman's fantastic. I'm not gonna knock Grid. We're not gonna do that dumb shit that we did last year, where it's like, oh, it's the worst. No, like these are all great shows. It's just like, and I love Gridman, but if I'm like just judging stuff by an action, like you get a lot of the fights in Gridman were like really cool, and you had a couple of them with like some emotional weight to them. But I don't feel like one, there of course, because the series was half as long, there was not as many fights, and then 2. You can't beat Yutaka Nakamura. I don't care how good your 3D is, because good 3D is like the most impressive thing to me because it's so easy to get wrong. But you can't beat Yutaka Nakamura. And also, we never really mentioned the Mirio fight because that's also.
Oh yeah, that cut is fantastic. I didn't see that also.
Power.
I didn't see the full episode, but I saw that clip. It was very good. I guess what I will say, is to justify my switch, because I still like Gridman more than My Hero this season, but I will say that I feel like a lot of things I like about Gridman are less focused on the action aspect of it and more on other parts, whereas My Hero Academia definitely is like an action show, where the action is like the part of that I think is like emblematic of why I like it, because the way it handles action overall.
Okay. So with that, the winner this year for Best Action Series is My Hero Academia. So moving forward, we now have biggest shit show. We have My Sister, My Writer, The Internet versus Darling in the Franxx, which I'm the most excited to talk about that one, because I kind of stay away from the community. So you can explain that here, or maybe Solange, and then. I can't even fucking pronounce that. I watched 3 episodes and I gave up.
Yeah, my brain is it Marchen Madchen? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how we're gonna pronounce it.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Solange, is there anything you want to talk about as far as these categories go?
Yes, I want to talk about The Internet versus Darling in the Franxx, because I was on A every single week when Darling in the Franxx was coming out. That shit was a mess.
It was a disaster.
I loved
it up until the aliens. Sorry, continue.
No, I was gonna say I loved Darling in the Franxx up until like the last 4 episodes. Like, if I'm gonna tell somebody to watch Darling in the Franxx, I just tell them to only watch up to episode 15.
I feel like I dropped Franxx kind of earlier than a lot of people did. I think I dropped it around episode 11. I can't remember. It was just like at a certain point where I felt the story was progressing too slowly, and I got kind of bogged down with other stuff I wanted to watch. And I was like, maybe I'll catch up at some point, and because I got I wanted to watch some other things. And then it's just like it was always like, oh no. After a certain point, it was like, oh no, the show's getting bad. What's this? This is dumb. And then they were just like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna catch up on this.
my deal with it was like I loved the show at first, and I'm fine with slow burn shows. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna watch it every other week. So I'd have like I wouldn't have just like the one episode like what's happening next. And I did that until the aliens. Like I finished the show, but the aliens was when I was like, wait, what? No. And I was complaining about it. And one of my friends online like, had the audacity to be like, how is it you love Gurren but you don't like this? Like, because the aliens, I was like, well, number one, this show is taken super seriously. Gurren is goofy off the bat. Second, you get the aliens halfway through the series for Gurren. You get the aliens here in the last 4 episodes of the justification for everything. It feels like it's handled like a mess. I don't know what happened exactly, but we're not talking specifically about
the show
Darling in the Franxx. We're talking about the internet versus Darling in the Franxx. Now, who wants to take that away?
The discourse around the internet versus Darling in the Franxx is fucking weird because it's like nobody knows anything about anime production, and so it's weird to see people talking about it because people are just tossing blame at whoever they feel like. Because as a collaboration show, right, Trigger worked on it and so did A1, and then halfway through the series it switched from being A1 to Cloverworks as being the production house on it, right? And there's so many different people that were involved in the series, like people that came, not specifically from A1 or Trigger that were part of it as well. That people just feel like they just kind of toss blame at whoever, and nobody knows what to do. So I've seen so many memes about the aliens showing up, about being like, joking about Trigger shows and how there's always last minute aliens that can kill the life fibers for aliens, and Luluco had aliens. And Little Academia.
Yeah, but Luluco, like,
Luluco started with aliens. They didn't come out of nowhere.
Well, no,
the show is literally called Space Patrol Luluco. How are you gonna expect there to not be aliens?
It's like, what do you mean Little Witch Academia has magic in it? Like, what?
Yeah, so that's my thing. Is it's always like these. My point was that these memes are dumb, and then everyone's like, pointing at A1, but then being like, it always feels weird for me to blame A1 because A1 doesn't even really have creative staff on their payroll. They just contract people, and so then people are like, oh, it's Nishigori who did it, which is probably the most fair because he was the director and he was also the writer. But then it's even unclear who had the most creative control. It seems like it would make sense that it would be Nishigori, but then you had like some writers for Trigger handling writing as well with him.
Didn't Trigger only work on the first half of the show?
So yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that that in particular is that at some point during second half of the show, the Trigger stopped being listed in the credits as being like a production house. So what that means is that after that point, Trigger did not personally produce any episodes, meaning they didn't animate them. So before that point, the first half of the show, they were an animation house that worked on some episodes, and I think the way that it worked was that there were episodes that the A1 team, the team that was contracted, would basically outsource episodes to Trigger, and they would do those episodes there. And that was kind of how the workflow worked. What Trigger's name being dropped though doesn't mean that the contracted staff that handled like writing and certain directorial things didn't still work on it. So like, Hiroyuki Imaishi was the action scene director for Franxx, who's obviously the director of Gurren Lagann, and so he was still on it to the end as well. And like same thing with some writers as well, we're still on it. So like there's this part of it that is like this incredibly complicated production story, and so people just point fingers at whoever they feel like they like the least. So there's that. And then there's always like whenever I talk about Franxx, I always have to be like, Nishigori's not all bad. Just go watch the Idolmaster. Look, he made this too. It's really good. He also did because this is like the first show that he's done since Idolmaster where you can classify it as being like his pet project. Well, like in Idolmaster, he did everything. He did the direction, he did the script, he did series composition, he directed both OPs and a bunch of the EDs. He animated a lot of the first OP. He did animation direction. and art direction. It was like his baby. Idolmaster was, and in this show he was less involved. He did writing and direction, but still that's a lot for a director to do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's atypical. Yeah. And outside of that, I'm sure Solange should talk about the aliens and the death threats that were sent to Ichigo's VA, because that happened.
Yeah, that happened. I just remember, like I said, I went on it every week when Friends and the Franks came out, just to see people like shit themselves. There's just a whole fight between the waifu wars between 02 and Ichigo. Like Skylar said, death threats were sent to Ichigo's VA. What was it, during episode 13 or 14?
Yeah, whichever one, when she
kisses Hiro. Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels bad.
When Kokoro wanted to switch partners between from
yeah.
Fukutoshi and Mitsuru, shit really hit the fan on A. People were calling Kokoro like a slut and shit. That was fun.
Darling in the NTR. I feel so bad for Ichigo's VA too, because it was literally her first voice acting role ever, and like she did a pretty good job. Like Ichigo's she has like a distinct voice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that was her first. She did a good job there.
Yeah, and it just sucks. I guess what also was crazy was that there was they were interviewed about it, right? They talked about the situation at some point, and they talked about how a majority of the negative response to Ichigo did not come from Japan, and it came from English-speaking Western audiences.
Oh God,
which is great to hear. Which fucking get fucked, weebs, I guess. It was just the worst. It was just the worst, and it sucks because I had such high hopes for the show, and then it became just a massive, like, disaster of a production. And in spite of it actually being, as a production itself, being very well handled, like the show is very pretty. There's no noticeable like dips in like production quality as far as like animation or whatever goes. It was handled very well, but I guess
so
we still have the other two on here too as well.
I mean, if you want to talk, because like I'm aware of those, and those are all production issues. My vote's locked into Darling in the Franxx.
Well, yeah, because it's definitely
it bleeds out of the show not being good into the staff and like people dealing with it there. So if I'm looking at it as like, once again, yeah, I can get production issues being shitty. That happens more common, but this is the most I've seen it blow back into like outside of the anime itself.
Yeah, because the other two are just both like horribly mismanaged productions. Obviously, you guys talked about at one point the shit with My Sister and My Writer, where the animators were crying for help in the credits, which is very funny. And then Marchen Madchen even is like he was really bad when it aired, but then they got to at least redeem themselves by fixing it in the BD. So the BD version is significantly better. And they fixed a lot of the jank, because I don't know if you've seen those screenshots that I posted, Claude.
Oh yeah, no, I watched the videos.
It was really bad. Still not quite dynamic chord, because that was like flash animation role.
We still need to watch it on Pain Train because it's on.
We do.
Now.
I feel like it would be fucking hilarious. Wait, what show was it that oh yeah, right, Gridman. Low key is a dynamic chord staff reunion, where a bunch of the VAs that in Gridman were also in that for some reason.
You did mention that.
Yeah, so that was weird. But yeah, I also vote for Darling in the Franxx because yeah, it was so far-reaching. It was a shit show that was relegated to outside the show shenanigans, but also connected to the show. That was so big that it was acknowledged by people that made the show, which is not common.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I know I have my vote. Did you guys? I didn't hear if you both said where yours is going for this.
Internet versus Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, same for me as well.
Okay, so yeah, biggest shit show of the year is Internet versus Darling in the Franxx. Moving on, we have our best ongoing series, My Hero Academia. March Comes In Like a Lion, and Cute Girls Climbing Mountains.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia.
You know what I'm gonna vote for, so I don't even need to say it.
Right. I'm also saying My Hero Academia mainly because, like, I'm very, very interested in like everything you said about March Comes In Like a Lion, but like if I'm talking about best ongoing, because I haven't seen that one, but there's a dramatic jump in quality in my opinion from the second season to the third because more happens.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, we talked up and down about My Hero Academia. I feel like it's funny. I feel like My Hero tends to sweep these awards for us, but because we just like it so much. But I feel like a lot of times it's like Old Faithful at this time for airing anime, where it's just like it's good. It's just good and it's around all the time. Every year it airs, and so it's just gonna be there because it's consistently good. So it's like.
Yeah.
What am I not gonna vote for the good show?
Because I mean, the other thing for that, like the biggest thing is of the 3 shows on here, I've only seen one, and I'm very interested in March Comes In Like a Lion. Like you've talked about a lot, but if I'm already talking about something I've seen and something I love, and it's something I feel like is improved upon, and so far as the anime covers, this covers the best animated part of that series. Like there's too much stacked in that favor. So yeah, My Hero Academia can sweep things. I'm very curious for the Crunchyroll one. And see how many awards it takes. Which I will say, as far as Crunchyroll goes, I am super psyched that My Hero Academia did not win Anime of the Year, like because it would have swept the awards instead of Made in Abyss won. So,
Made in Abyss didn't win. Okay, I actually never followed up to see what won that year.
Yeah, Made in Abyss won Anime of the Year last year, which I was super psyched by.
Good for them, I guess. I wish it was Soseki no Kuni, but that's alright.
So then, I don't even know if that was nominated, was it?
It was nominated for something. I remember I voted for it.
Best CG.
I also remember that I think I was for one category I wrote in a show that I nominated, but I forget what it was. It was Girls Last Tour, I think. I can't remember. I think it was that though. Yeah, it was for Best ED because they didn't nominate it, so I did Girls Last Tour.
Okay. Well, with us picking the best ongoing of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be a bit more rough, probably. Best OP.
Okay, looking at these nominations, I realized that none of us nominated Zombieland Saga's OP, and that's unacceptable.
There's already so much. Like, I like. So the reason I didn't put it on there is Fukaku. I've never run into just like something that was like, this is a fucking banger. What the fuck? Like, because I love that OP. And then Fighting Gold's like. I'm gonna say now it's my favorite JoJo OP, and since Fighting Gold came out in the same season as, JoJo came out the same season as Zombieland, I like JoJo's more. I just didn't bother putting it in there because I'm not gonna vote for that. But it is a good. But we have Kokaku's OP flashback, JoJo Part 5's Fighting Gold, Lupin the Third Part 5. I don't know the song in for whatever reason you can't even find a song.
I think it's just the Lupin theme. That's just what it's called.
It's not online.
The OP was taken off YouTube. I remember it was on the official TMS YouTube channel for a while.
Yeah, I watched it before, but then when I tried to look up for this, I could not find it. So that's why there's no link.
That's fucked up.
And then finally, March Comes In Like a Lion. I'm split between 2. I'm pretty sure we know Skylar's pick.
No, I'm voting for Fighting Gold on this one.
Okay.
Fighting Gold is fantastic. That it's not my favorite JoJo OP. Sorry. My favorite is still Great Days.
But yours was Chase.
No, I think that's James's favorite. James likes Chase. I like Great Days the best. It's Great Days, and then it's Bloody Stream, and then Sonachi no Kyoku, End of the World. That one are my favorite ones. But Fighting Gold is fantastic. The visuals are so on point. It's just cool references to things from the manga, and the style is really cool, and the song is a fucking banger. I get hype every single time at the end when the last Fighting Gold is so good. Yeah, so that's my vote. It's great.
Solange?
My vote is surprisingly enough gonna go to a Kokoku's OP flashback because the song is really good, and on top of that, the animation for the OP is outstanding. It's got really good visuals. It's, like I said, the animated parts are like really smooth, really fluid stuff. I like it more than Fighting Gold.
Okay, goddamn. I was hoping you might say something else because I was split between the two. Fighting Gold is my favorite JoJo OP, but like I've never fallen in love with an OP so quick. I think I didn't even start the first episode until like 10 minutes in because I kept rewinding to rewatch the OP because it was that good. Like Skylar, you've seen it,
Well,
right?
shouldn't that tell you what your best OP for 2018 should be?
Well, it is, but if you were gonna go for like I liked Lupin opening or something like that, or JoJo opening, I wouldn't have minded. But yeah, if I have to do it, then yeah, it would be Kakaku because like Flashback is fucking amazing.
It is a banger of an OP. It is really, really good. I don't know nothing about the show at all. That OP
girls
is
in a world where there's time stops and bad things happen and yada yada yada. I didn't finish the show. I got like 4 episodes in, and I just kind of got. It's one of those things where like I mostly just go on my Crunchyroll and just watch in a row. That show's on Amazon Prime. I forgot that show was coming out. Like, so that's where that ended. Like the moment they released the OST and I downloaded the OP, like full OP, I didn't even think about the show again. I actually forgot. But then yeah, I guess the winner for best OP is Flashback from Kokaku. Next is best ED. We have the ED for, I don't even have any of the songs' names, but Asobi Asobase, Review Starlight, Hisomaso, and March Comes In Like a Lion.
I know the song titles for the last 3. It's Fly Me to the Star for Review Starlight, and Sangatsu is I Am Standing, and then I forget what Hisomaso's is called, but it's like it's a France call. The song I forget. It's in French. Can't remember. But yeah, I forget what Asobi Asobase is called though. No, I forget. So really quick, my vote is Sangatsu ED4, because it's just look at it, like just watch that ED. It's fucking amazing. But really quick before I talk about it, I do want to talk about like just to give special commendation to Review Starlight's ED because it does a thing that's really cool where every episode of the show, the visuals and the vocals on the ED are different to reflect the characters that the episode was about.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like the one that I linked specifically was it's my favorite iteration of the ED, where it's for Juna and Banana Chan, and I think I think that the duet they do is like they're the best singers, I think, and that one they actually changed the lyrics for that particular episode to reflect their character arcs a bit better. So I think that's a really cool thing that the EDs does for that show. So I wanna specifically shout that out because it's super cool. There's even like a thing with that particular version of the ED where the artist who does the art for it apparently cried when she did the last image of it, because the last image of the ED is like usually it's the two characters like walking toward each other underneath the spotlights or whatever. But the thing they did for Juna and Banana is they had like the spotlight colors reflect the like opposing person's color, and then they also it's like Banana is standing still and Juna is like going towards her because she's the one that like is like, helping her out basically. So that it's like it's just a cool detail. I like that kind of.
Okay.
But Sangatsu's ED is like it's beautifully animated. The style is so like cool, like the way like the etchy like fucking it almost looks like painting with charcoal kind of thing. The effect looks really, really good. I think it's probably like thick pencils is what it is actually. And then like as it starts off with like black and white monochrome, and then as the ED goes on, color starts slowly fading into the image, and then at the end there's this huge explosion of color which starts running towards the sun, and there's like all the rainbow shit all over the sun, whatever. Like they draw the sun with like a rainbow thing, and it's so simple, but it's just so beautifully like handled. The way they do it is just so elegant, and it's incredible. I love it so much.
Solange.
My vote goes to Asobi Asobase. I really like the whole, the baby metal ending. I like the visuals in the ED, and I thought it was like hilarious. When that one episode where they were playing like that paper war game, instead of having Olivia, Hanako, and Kasumi in the ending, they had those little creatures that the butler drew.
Well, it was still the three of them, but they were on their heads, right?
Shit, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's why I remember, because like they were still there. Like Stewie showed me, like it was just like because it was the world's strongest monster because he drew three of them, and like they were all on the main characters' heads while they were playing the game, while they were playing. Which, yes, that is fantastic. So my vote goes to Skylar. Take a guess.
It's Asobi Asobase. I already know this.
Wrong. It's March Comes In Like a Lion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll say my little piece for Asobi Asobase first. Because, like I said, I went in that show thinking it was a cute girl show. And I was instantly caught off guard by how absurdly, like, violent / funny it was. And you get to the end, and you get this baby metal. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I fell in love with it. The reason I'm picking March Comes In Like a Lion is because you showed me the ED yesterday. I was like, okay, let me look at this. Like that, like anything that's like watercolor painting or pencils or anything like that. Like that is like the most impressive thing in the world to me because like that takes an ungodly amount of time to do. Which is why I said like my favorite ED for like the longest time was the ED for Mob Psycho because goddamn, did that take a lot of time and effort.
Oil and glass is no joke.
Yeah, so for March Comes In Like a Lion, not only did the visuals just like blow me away instantly, but the song was also very good. Like I want to actually listen to the full track.
Yeah, dude, and the way the lyrics tie into the arc is very good too. Like just like because like I'm very appreciative that the subs I got had the song lyrics because a lot of times they're perfect. This is very good one. No exception to that.
All right. So the winner for best ED is March Comes In Like a Lion. Moving on, we have best couple. There is Akira and Miki from Devilman Crybaby. There's Toku and Yu from Bloom Comes In You.
Toko and Yu. Wait, did I write it like that? Because it should be.
It might have auto-corrected it if I typed it differently.
It was Yu with two U's instead of whatever song.
Yeah, then there is Nozumi and Mizori from Liz and the Bluebird, and then there is Hina and Rei from March Comes In Like a Lion.
So I'm torn on this one actually.
I have my pick.
I really like Nozomi and Mizore from Liz and the Bluebird. Like that's like that. If you had asked me what my pick was like a week ago, it's probably what I would have picked. Right? Because I think that movie is just handled so well, and it's like the way the relationship is done is like I don't know. It's really good. Yeah. But at this point, I feel like it's this thing where Hina and Rei is my other choice, right? And it's just like I feel like the latter just has more time because Nozomi and Mizore it's a movie, and they were in a couple episodes of the season 2 of Hibike Euphonium, and that's like all they have is it's like a movie and like 2 episodes about them in this season 2. And so there's just like while the relationship is like well developed and it's fantastic in the movie it's handled in, I feel like in general though that Sangatsu just has had more time for me to build up my like feelings about the relationship in general. And there's just so many moments in Sangatsu that are like just like so wholesome, like heartwarming moments. I've mentioned a couple, like the bit where Rei shows up and she calls him on the phone or whatever. But then there's the bit where like She goes on a field trip for the thing, and Rei has a match that's like in Tokyo, like or whatever. And it's just like offhandedly before her trip, she had like was getting stressed, stomach aches, and so after he wins the match, he walks into a room, and a guy's talking about like there's another character Shimada who has chronic gastritis, so his stomach hurts all the time, and he had like this. He gave someone some special medicine for their stomach, and Rei just immediately is like skips his own like celebration for his victory and just takes the medicine and runs immediately to where her field trip is because he remembers the itinerary because he had they told him what it was beforehand, and not only does he show up to where the trip is happening, but he's like, oh, she's not gonna be here because why would she be hanging out with her class because everyone is like picking on her. Where does she go when she's by herself? And he just knows like where to find her because he knows that when she's feeling upset she goes to the river, so he finds her there. There's that moment is really nice. Yeah, and just whatever. There's a lot of scenes like that are just like the cutest thing, and so I think I'm gonna go with that one, even if I think I still like I don't know. I guess I'll vote for Hina and Rei.
Okay. Well, my vote is going to Nizumi and Mizore.
I don't
So-
care enough about any of the end of the nominees in the best couples category, so I'm gonna go with Hina X-Ray with for Sangatsu with Skylar, just because of the way he explained why he's why he chooses them.
Yeah, I won't fight that at all because like the show's been built up enough that I don't even really explain why. So like, for Akira and Miki, it's like they were great, but you didn't really get too much of their relationship specifically, and then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. And I didn't watch Bloom into You, but I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it, so
It's
I
good.
won't fight that.
It's a good show.
So yeah, best couple is Hina and Rei, and we have a category that I don't even know why I'm gonna even bring up anymore because the answer has been decided long ago. Best manga is Dr. Stone, Dorohedoro, and Land of the Lustrous or Hiseki no Kuni. I'm just gonna start because I know I lost. My vote was Dr. Stone because it is a phenomenal manga about a super genius. Everyone got turned into stone, and he woke up like thousands of years later. He actually counted every second from when he got turned into stone. Because it was him and one of his friends. I'm not gonna really go deep into the story about it because I could talk for a while. But the main premise of the story was like, hey, there's some basically pillar men out there who want us dead. My goal as a scientist is I want to bring humanity back from where we are right now, which is basically the Stone Age. Like technology does not exist, back to the modern era. And like the first like 2 arcs really involve how are we gonna get around dealing with this pillar man when they are super strong. Him and his whole group is super strong, and the people we have are mostly weak. But like I know science, so I can do some shit. It's very interesting, very very well done. They actually just finished dealing with that arc, and now they're gonna go on to the next arc, which I'm not gonna really go into too much because I don't know anything about it. The moment I got caught up and I saw there's only 4 chapters in the new arc, I was like, let me leave this alone for like a year. I'll come back. It was my favorite manga I read last year, but I'll let you two talk about the already decided winner.
All right. I vote for Land of the Lustrous. I love Ichikawa's style. The art is really simple, but she does a lot she works really well with just the black and white and stuff. I really don't know how to explain it that well.
It's like
I
her use
love-
of like negative space.
Yes,
is, like,
yeah,
so
you get it,
impressive.
Skylar. You get it. Also, of course, it's just packed with so many Buddhist themes in it. It's really crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I also am gonna vote for Hoseki no Kuni. I feel like it's just like, on top of the things that she said, Ichikawa's art is so like unique and cool, and her she just has such an interesting grasp on how to make manga. Because people talked about like the styles of paneling, and I don't even know how Ichikawa, like what you would even call it, her thing. Just the way that some panels flow into each other is just so cool to me. And she does really cool stuff with like making certain things like pop off out of the panel itself to like whatever. It's really, she's really interesting, her style. On top of that, I really feel like the character study stuff in it is really interesting. And like this past year of Hoseki no Kuni has been like some of the most interesting shit in the entire series. Like this current arc is like, it's incredibly good. Some of the last couple chapters have just been like blown me away with how good they've been. So it's not only is the manga overall very good, but it's also been a very strong year for the manga in general. So I feel like I gotta give it to that as well. I really do want to shout out Dorohedoro though, because it literally ended this year, which means this is the last year anyone will be able to nominate it for this show. But Dorohedoro is fantastic. I've talked up and down about it on this podcast already. So everyone should go read it, and also read Kyu Hayashida's new manga that's starting up soon. Yeah, but I will vote for Hoseki no Kuni in this category.
Well, like I said, that one was fucking decided the moment this podcast started.
I can actually talk about Hoseki no Kuni for hours. So I would try to limit myself. Yeah, well, that would be big spoilers, because like all the shit you talk about now is like all those Budanon posts, which are the best thing ever. That guy's like the best. But that's all like big, massive spoilers. So I can't even hazard to bring that shit up while you're in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to read it. Like I've already started. Like, what was the last thing I saw, which is a scene that I like really liked a lot. It was like she was being, folks was being really overprotective as far as Ghost went for like a bit, and then she just like had like a mental break, and then just the shards of her face went everywhere. So, like that was the last thing I saw. Yeah.
By the way, Solange, if you ever get the chance, you should pick up the manga physically, because I have a couple volumes of it, and it looks like even more beautiful on paper. I don't know why, maybe it's the quality of scans, but there's something about it that just looks so nice on like actual physical paper.
Oh yeah, I know Barnes & Noble. I saw Barnes & Noble had like I think like the first like 3 volumes or something. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely pick them up when I have the chance.
They have 6 or 7. I went there recently. Yeah, maybe it's just yours when I had the first couple.
I have volumes 1 and volume 6 are the 2 that I own. Those are the ones that I had at my bookstore. Volume 6 is. It was one of the things why I bought it. I looked at it. I was like, wow, this is like one of my favorite chunks of the manga, because it's like the introduction of like Karen Gorm and some of the later shit with Lunarians. And Karen Gorm is still my favorite. It's my favorite character. So I was like, I gotta buy this, I guess.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's bratty, but I love her.
She's great, and this most recent arc is hurting my soul.
Yeah. All right. With that said, we'll be moving on to the next category, the second to last category. We're almost done, folks. Best movie, and there's only 2 nominees. There is My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, and then there is Liz and the Bluebird.
And unfortunately,
you and Skylar are gonna have to fight that out with each other, because I haven't watched either one of those 2 movies, so I can't put in my input.
You haven't watched 2 Heroes?
No, you guys y'all watched it, and like I was like really busy, so.
Yeah, so I remember you had stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, this is just because neither of us got to see Mirai this year either.
Yeah, that's right. We were supposed to.
And then we all forgot, I think.
Oh, would Motherfuckers count?
Oh yeah, Motherfuckers does count.
Isn't that French?
It's Studio 4C animated it. It's based on a French comic though.
Yeah, it's an anime based off a French comic about fucking Americanized gang, like not warfare, gang
violence.
Gang violence. It's very weird. Loop around.
Yeah, dude, fucking Vince Staples plays a character in it, and I saw that before we saw the movie, and I didn't expect him to be an important character. I thought it would just be a cameo type thing. But Vince Staples' character is like the secondary main character of the movie, and I did not expect that to be a thing. which I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, the cast, the dub cast on that was kind of stacked, actually.
Yeah.
Fucking-
who was Danny Trejo playing? I know he was in there. He
Danny
was like,
Trejo was the primary antagonist. It was the dude with the golden gun.
okay.
Yeah.
I remember he was in there. I was like, I couldn't place because I can't remember who had what voice.
And then it was
Um,
like Gustavo Fring's voice actor, or sorry, actual actor from Breaking Bad, was the dude, the evil alien father guy. I forget his name.
Didn't RZA voice Shakespeare?
Yeah, the RZA did voice Shakespeare. If I remember
So
correctly.
now I'm actually torn because it's like I knew you were probably gonna go with Liz and the Bluebird.
Yeah, I'm going.
Because that's a great movie, and I like My Hero Academia and Two Heroes a lot. Like, as a whole, you know, I mean, I probably enjoyed that more because I'm bigger into shonen and like action stuff. But like, I do like just the weight and how they handle the sound. The sound design is what would give me an edge over it for Listen to Bluebird because it's very well done. Motherfuckers, I loved. It's damn, I don't even really know where to go. I want to just say Liz and the Bluebird, but I want to give a shout out to the greatest team up that we will never see again in My Hero Academia of Deku and All Might. That was a fucking gorgeous scene.
Yeah, that sequence at the end. Like if Liz and the Bluebird wasn't as good as it was, it would make it difficult because even that sequence at the end was just some of the best shit I've ever seen, like animation wise. It was
like if I'm looking at all of My Hero Academia, including that scene, that is arguably the best looking scene in the series.
Yeah, I don't even. It's hard to even say what we compare because it's so long. It's like because the thing is like when you compare that to other things, like that cut with Todoroki and Deku from season 2 is amazing, and that's like I think like 40 seconds long. And then there's the cut where All Might's fighting Nomu. That's about like a minute and a half long. The sequence in this movie it feels like it's like 3 minutes long of Saka Nakamura cuts. It's insanity.
And I didn't know, like, of all my friends who watched it, there's no one who did not lose their shit at the All Might flex. I don't want to spoil it for Solange, but that is like arguably the best scene in that movie.
It's like, yeah, it's like, fuck, it's literally, it's almost like the point where it's like T-posing to assert dominance. It's like, All Might almost does it, and it's incredible. Because
you see him after Deku. Deku does his thing, which is like, I'm charging back for a punch. And then All Might does his thing of like, let me flex on him. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then the pose he's in when they fly into it, like I was
it's like he holds the pose when they fly in. It's so good. Yeah, dude, it's great.
But yeah.
Oh, and also they like nailed it immediately by putting "You Say Run" in the background too. I was like, this is like peak. Yeah. We're peak My Hero now.
Yeah, it was fucking in there.
But I do have to give it to Liz and the Bluebird myself. It's just an incredible movie, and it was a movie that I saw it and I walked out of the theater and I immediately wanted to watch it again. Like immediately after it ended, I was like, I need to watch this movie again. And I listened to the music all over the place. Like he was talking about Claude mentioned the sound design in this movie. The soundtrack, if you buy it off of whatever, listen to the official soundtrack, it's crazy that the sound effects from the movie are included on the soundtrack because they're timed to the sound, the music itself. Like it's part of the audio file. So I mentioned before, the movie has this really cool like thematic thing where the first scene in the movie is the two characters, Nozomi and Mizode, are walking to the band room at school, and they have this big like long like almost dialogueless scene of them just walking to the classroom with the music is timed to their footsteps, and it's this like kind of like weird bouncy tune that kind of has like syncopation going on, so it feels a little bit off kilter. And then the final scene of the movie is them walking home from the band room, and the song is playing, but the syncopated line isn't happening. Instead, now their footsteps are in time with the music and are also synced up. Because the whole thing with the movie is the first they're in the opening title card. It's like what it says? It says disjointed or whatever in like the thing, and at the end of the movie it crosses out the word and then puts like joined or whatever. Yeah. And so there's just things like that all over the movie. So the sound design is incredible. It was in fact recorded in the school that the school movie was based on, and it was mostly like Kensuke Ushio would like go to like spots around the school, and he would like hit lockers and like the windowsills and shit with things and record the sounds the sounds that were made by the school to use those in the soundtrack. And it was just, it's like so creative, like it's very creative. Like one of the songs, the percussion part is made by the sound of splatting paint onto sheet music. It's just crazy. He's doing a bunch of crazy shit with that. And on top of that, the movie itself is so, I don't want to say it's relatable to me, because I don't think I relate to either of the characters' positions in the movie, but I say that it captures what high school band is like almost perfectly. There are so many scenes that happen where I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. Like all the scenes of like the food section, like having like section bonding time, we would do that shit constantly. All the characters going out for whatever, like, hey, we have practice after school, but let's go to the store while on the way or whatever, into to fill time, and like all those little details were just so accurate to my experience, as well as like the film capturing the emotional connection between the player and the music that they're playing in such a visceral way. And I really related to that also. I think that was something I did actually relate to, was the whole theme of the movie being like the metaphor of the film's narrative was the fact that they couldn't play the solo correctly because they couldn't accurately convey the emotions they were trying, that the song made them feel. But I think it was just so like perfect. I love this movie. I already have it pre-ordered. It was a couple of days ago. They 11 Arts, I think, put up their pre-order for the Blu-ray, and I already bought it. So yeah, I'm voting for Liz in the Bluebird.
All right, and my vote also goes to that. And Solange, you said you didn't really care because you hadn't seen either one, which is
I haven't seen either movie, so it's not fair for me to vote.
That's fair. You would probably love Two Heroes though. That's coming out in
March,
I believe. Let me actually look that up real quick. Someone would announce the anime of the year. I want to give Solange that information.
Ironically, Liz also is releasing in March. The Blu-ray is in the United States, so that's convenient. I guess I can move on and say what we nominated for anime of the year. Give me a second. I gotta find the docket. There we go.
You didn't have it up? Well, I guess you didn't need it.
I clicked away for a second and then it was gone. Alright, so anime of the year, we have nominated A Place Further Than the Universe. We have Liz and the Bluebird. We have Hinamatsuri. We have Gridman. And we have Sangatsu no Lion. Now, I guess I'll give it to Solange to go first, or Claude to go or something.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's March 26th, Solange. That's when the Blu-ray comes out.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Sweet.
Fun fact about the My Hero Academia 2 Heroes Blu-ray. I'm not sure if it's just going to come with it because they mentioned some out of Plus Ultra version, but it's the only version of it I see that exists. But there will be an animated short for the one-shot All Might Rising.
Oh yeah, the one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, which you get to see like the final time that All Might saw his master when him and her were fighting all for one. So, and the reason that he went to America in the first place. So that will be an animated short on that, which I'm super psyched for.
Yeah, that should be cool.
But yeah, you can go ahead, Solange.
Okay, so my vote out of all these is going to go to Hinamatsuri because it's the one anime that I watched the most episodes out of all of these. And of course, I like Hinamatsuri. It's really sweet. It's really funny. I like how they got that young girl who's like the bartender.
She's a shit, but I love her.
Fucking, what do you mean?
Anzu's great.
She's the.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the person who was like running it, who scammed the girl. I thought.
Yeah, who scammed her. But fucking, what was her name? Was it like Himari? I can't remember her name.
I mean, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched Hinamatsuri, but I just thought that was funny as shit that they got that.
I'm curious myself.
That little girl's like working at the bar now.
I think
And she just learned.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah, she's great though.
Let's see, characters. Her name. Hitomi. It was Hitomi.
He told me. That's right. Yeah. Poor Hitomi. I actually love that bit where she's hanging out with Anzu, and she's like too nice to say she wants to go home.
She doesn't want to hang out with her.
Falls asleep standing up in the woods.
And when she's like, look how much money I have. How much do you make? It's like, I can't tell her how much I make. She'll get discouraged.
Yeah, because it was like she made like, I think it was something like $4 in a day, and then it was like, yeah, and then she's like, I make like more than 3 times that in an hour, or whatever, and it was like, that's like it was so depressing.
She had one of my favorite episodes where she got to the point where she just couldn't say no to too many people, and she had like an office job, and she had a penthouse, and like it was.
What it reminded me of was the gag from Arrested Development, where what was her name? Mabel, what was her? Whatever, the girl, the daughter character, who fucking, she conned her way into a job in Hollywood, and literally she just would say the same sentence over and over again, and people would be like, yeah, that makes sense. And she just like was like, I don't know, that's what he told me. His whole thing reminded me of. It's just like accidentally being really good at this job for like no reason. It was pretty good.
She worked hard at everything.
She's a natural talent at bartending.
Yeah. And then her teacher's like, wait, didn't people think she was like being a prostitute or some shit like that? Like her friends?
Yeah, well, they thought she was doing compensated dating, which is only slightly different than prostitution.
It's basically prostitution.
Yeah. What about you, Claude? What are you voting for?
Well, I imagine this would turn out like the same as Best Drama. My vote's going to A Place Further Than the Universe because it gave me actual emotions.
My vote for this actually, this category is very hard for me, actually, because I'm in a situation where, like I said, like last week, I probably will, if Liz and the Bluebird wasn't on here, I would have said Gridman last week, right? So I have this kind of 3-way conflicting thing between Gridman, Liz and the Bluebird, and Sangatsu, right? Where like Gridman, I think, is just so cool. That something like that came out and it was executed so well, and has so many like little nods and things. Where like, yeah, this is such a labor of love, and it was so like infectious. And then, like, it's just like so many like great things. Like at the end of it, ending in live action as a homage to the old show. That's just like, that's such a cool. That's fucking rad. And I'm a big fan of that shit. And then like Sangatsu, I've talked that shit up and down all over this podcast, so I'm not gonna talk too much more about it now, because I'm sure you all get the idea.
Yeah.
But then Liz and the Bluebird, again, I just had a whole thing about that as well. So I really love all of these things. I guess what I'm gonna give it to, I'll give it to Liz and the Bluebird, because while I love Sangatsu no Line, I'm looking at the show as a whole. Not just season 2, which aired this year. I think that while I like all of it, that there are parts of it that are better than others. Like, I haven't mentioned Burnt Field at all during this podcast. Burnt Field in Sangatsu season 2 is like a grouping of episodes about like an older shogi player, and those are just incredible episodes that are like, like amazing. But at the same time, you have some other stuff where I feel like there are stretches of it that are kind of slow. It's in the season 1 in particular. Well, I still liked it. Like, Liz and the Bluebird was more consistent, and I thought that movie, like, I'd have a harder time saying things that I think could be improved with Liz and the Bluebird. I actually don't even know what I could say about it that would be anywhere approaching negative. So I think I'm gonna give it to Liz and the Bluebird.
Okay, so we've caught ourselves in another three-way tie between Place Further in the Universe, Liz and Bluebird, and Hinamatsuri. So how the fuck are we gonna do this one? This is
Yeah, this is hard. I like that.
I love Liz, but I can't budge on A Place Further in the Universe. Like that means too much to me.
I also feel the same way. And I think it's.
We'll make this real easy. I sided with Skylar during when you guys were fighting between Sangatsu no Lion and A Place Further in the Universe, so I'm gonna give this one to Claude and vote with him on A Place Further than the Universe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does it? I mean, I'm not gonna argue it. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Well, you know, you have it, folks. The anime of the year is A Place Further Than the Universe. Go watch it. You'll love it. You'll get the good feels.
I feel like most
and bad
people
feels.
would love Place Further Than the Universe. It's very much it's like I feel like almost anyone can get something out of it. It's very
it's more like if I had to like I'm not gonna like pick on Liz and the Bluebird, but if I had to like say the big thing that I'd put above Place Further in the Universe for most people is more people could probably relate to that than Liz and the Bluebird.
Yeah, because I feel like Liz is very specifically there's things about it that I think most people could enjoy or say like that's good, but I think there are definitely parts of it that I think are very like related to my personal experience with some of the things the characters go through in the movie. And so there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That was the Anime Awards. I guess Skylar and I will, whoever's on, we'll see you next week. Solange will disappear until we have another After Dark. But
got that
Solange,
right.
Skylar, thank you for your time.
James
And
will be in jail for finally being outed. I don't think incest is legal in this state, is it? We are
would James be in
Florida.
jail? What would happen actually?
Well, James is legal. He's not like a child. So like,
Well, you said he might be in jail
yeah,
after being outed.
I'm pretty sure incest isn't legal in this state.
I don't know. We'll find out what happens.
We are in the South, and we are Florida, so anything is possible. You could tell me lots of things are legal here, and I believe you. But who knows? Our fearless leader might not be so fearless within the next couple of weeks.
He's a massive coward. We already know this, though.
It's true.
Right, but
he had a couple of more pressing fears, in more ways than one.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week, or unless we die, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Have a good night or day, whatever. Bye.
Whatever time it is.
Bye.